Eramis in the past was at the head of a lot of darkness-involved plot threads. Beyond Light and acquiring Stasis, joining forces with the Witness and trying to destroy the Traveler. She's been absent for a couple of seasons, but today we have an update on her whereabouts and changed perspective. Let's take a look at some new lore. Eramis has been around for a while. The Guardians met her back in Beyond Light when her Elixni would try and take up Stasis and create Rees Reborn, leaving the hopes of their past world behind for a new power. At the end of Beyond Light, Eramis was frozen in Stasis and remained there for a couple of years. In Season of Plunder, she would be reawakened by the voices of the Witness and seemingly join its side as a new entry disciple.
Some chains cannot be broken. Or so they would have you believe.
After 2 years trapped in Stasis, Eramis is released and follows the Witness's guidance to gather the relics of Nezarec. Despite rallying fallen pirates, her efforts are thwarted by the Guardians. She engaged in heated exchanges with Mithrax, revealing his dark past and questioning his allegiances, and her own thoughts even began to waver as she would rescue Ido, Mithrax's daughter, from danger. Ultimately, Eramis rejects an invitation to join a peaceful Elixni society, unable to reconcile her past losses with the possibility of a new future. This was a turning point for Eramis, but she still fled Mithrax's invitation.
She could have had everything.
The Dark Cow would retreat into hiding, facing punishment from the Witness for not securing the relics. She did continue her efforts though, indirectly interacting with the Guardians throughout the events of Season of the Seraph.
I've seen what your influence does. Mithrax thinks he can make peace with the last city. His daughter tells stories like your Aldrin.
And the world is better for them. Aren't you tired, Eramis? I am.
Now you're wasting my time.
All people like you and I have is time. I spend mine thinking about everything I've lost. And what I'd give to get it back. You wonder the same.
Do not presume to know my mind.
You named your house Salvation, like something straight out of Aldrin stories. Ido's stories. We both want the best for the future. But we've pretended to be people we're not for so long that we've forgotten what else we are. Not just a queen. Not just a Kel. A sister. A mother. Eramis? Are you there?
Her resolve wavered amidst the conflict, showing signs of fatigue and doubt. Despite this, she gained control of Rasputin's Warsat network, planning to use it against the Traveler. Eramis, increasingly weary and disillusioned, persisted in her struggle against the city, driven by a sense of duty and vengeance. After the Warsat network's destruction, Eramis hid with her house but remained loyal to the Witness as far as we know.
The whirlwind.
Eramis.
Don't worry, the great machine will never abandon anyone again.
Make it known your pain.
Why does it not flee?
Because it has nowhere else to run.
During a major battle involving the Vanguard, the Pyramids, and the Witness at the beginning of Lightfall, Eramis observed from the sidelines. In that accompanying season of Defiance, she would later warn Mithrax about a dangerous Shadow Legion prison, but he initially dismissed her advice.
Guardian, kick down their front door while we slip in the back. We'll meet you inside.
Mithrax, I mustn't speak with haste. Turn back now. This is not a fight you can win. Leave these captives and live to see your great machine again. Pursue this quest, and you will die.
Mithrax?
The ship stealer is allied with the voice in the darkness, but she does not speak lies. Perhaps there is something here we do not yet see.
It turns out she proved right though when a tormentor controlled this prison. She unexpectedly saved Mithrax with her own powers of stasis at the end, leaving abruptly afterward.
I warned you.
Eramis then returned to hiding, her legion still seemingly aligned with the Witness, or so we thought. We can see she began to waver at times, and the new lore from this season titled Nostos, a Sparrow, gives us our answer. Eramis anchored her ketch on the shadowed side of an asteroid and cut the engines. She gazed out the viewport at a wrecked House of Wolves ketch, lying half buried under the rubble of the tangled shore. Her reverie was broken by Calaxis, her lieutenant. Eramis, Cal, your plan is working. A reef patrol is inbound, sweeping for nests. If we board them quickly, we can take the ship intact. No, Eramis replied, still gazing out the viewport. Let them pass. It's a Corsair patrol vessel, Calaxis insisted, his chitters staccato with frustration. Even as scrap, it's worth— Let them pass, Eramis thundered, whirling to face the Vandal. The time of the ship stealer has gone. All that matters now, Eramis said, is where we are when the end arrives. The Cal of Darkness activated her transmat, leaving a frustrated Calaxis alone on the bridge. Eramis rematerialized in a wrecked House of Wolves ketch. The walls of the ship were pitted by bullet holes and desiccated hive growths. Only Hive and Lightbearers had dared to enter since it was shot down during the Reef Wars. She shook her head. What a waste. She stepped over Thrall and Acolyte corpses, picking her way carefully to the ship's navigation. Once inside, she opened an access panel and pulled out a centuries-old data core. She sifted through the archives until she found it, a detailed map of Rhys, the Elixni homeworld. It was the same map that Eris's mate Atheris had followed out of Sol. It even included the habitable zones she tabbed as potential landing sites. By now, Atheris might be the Cal of her own settlement, living happily alongside their grown hatchlings. Or they might all be long dead. In truth, Eramis hadn't wondered at either possibility for decades. But ever since she saw the Witness disappear into its portal, Eramis could think of little else. All her prior aspirations were made suddenly small. Elixni's solidarity, revenge against the Traveler, enmity with the humans, they were all irrelevant. If a second whirlwind was her fate, Eramis would suffer it as she had the first, with Atheris by her side. So Eramis, the Elixni Cal that was so hellbent and upset about Rhys and the lives they once had, who claimed new power and tried to rebuild Elixni culture, who took up darkness and joined the Witness, has decided to leave it all behind. She's now on her own adventure. A new whirlwind might occur, the final shape might actually happen. So her plan? Return to Rhys with this new map she found, see what remains. Is her partner Atheris and her children still there? The last couple of years of plot doesn't matter, she just wants to be together if a second whirlwind or the second end of times is going to happen. The Cal of Darkness has evolved from a vengeful fallen leader seeking revenge against the Traveler and humanity to a complex figure facing disillusionment and fatigue. Initially leading aggressive campaigns, she gradually shows signs of questioning her path, especially after repeated failures and witnessing the suffering of her people. Her unexpected acts of mercy like saving Mithrax and reflections on past relationships and aspirations suggest a deep internal conflict. Eramis' journey reveals a character grappling with her history, beliefs, and the inevitability of change in the face of greater cosmic threats. We may never see Eramis again, or at least for now, but this seems like a solid way to end her story, give it some closure if Bungie never had plans to have her reappear in mainline content. Eramis has given up on the Witness and this dark side and has returned to Reese. Anyway, Guardians, if you'd like to see some more Destiny lore and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.